Alrighty guys, so welcome back. We are now seconds away from getting underway in our second game of the night. We are here in Group D in the ESL 1 Battlefield group stages. And obviously these guys are fighting out for a place towards those offline finals. Only one team can qualify from this group. It is from the Go 4 selection. So, InFamous up against ESC, and I am still joined by the beautiful Alex Machine Richardson. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm excited that we actually have 5 players on either side now. I think we've certainly had our handful of delays, so that's exciting to get underway. We're going into Dawnbreaker, like you said, which is a map I have to say I have a little bit of a passion for, especially the fact that it really does swing almost constantly. There's action constantly going on, and maybe you can explain.
Alex.
It's a swinger. Well, I mean, I didn't summarize that very well. What I was saying is this: with the B site constant, I mean, it will constantly change hands. I've never really seen a team hold on to that B site really effectively, unless, of course, they're holding on to maybe the kind of horrible AC split. But it's just, I do like that we're going to have a constant brawl in that kind of middle area, which is certainly something I like to see.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing InFamous again. They did pick up a 2-0 victory in their first game, so certainly looking pretty competent so far. I'd like to see what they can bring to this. I think the teams are ready. I am now into the server. We can start looking towards getting this one underway very quickly between these two, so we can jump in, because we are live, and it will be InFamous on the Chinese side. Going for not the standard start here, 2 splitting around towards C. This is a bit of a different way of getting things going.
Yeah, interesting split from them. Actually heading straight towards that C side. Not looking too good for Malicium at the moment, under heavy scrutiny from the defending players. In the meantime, though, that B site is going to be secured by the US side. So that's going to be, of course, ESC. So right now, not looking too good, actually. As a quick response from them, InFamous straight onto that C side. And obviously, InFamous renowned for that kind of aggressive play. And, well, we've seen the perfect example of that. Heading straight for that C side. A little bit out of the meta game, as it were. But nice play from them. We're seeing just, actually, I'm going to be eating my words, Lauren. I've never seen anyone just hold on to that B side. B side always changing hands. And look at this. Straight away, InFamous just saying, you can have B. We're quite happy with this AC split. And that's actually working really nicely with these kind of 2-3 split in numbers.
Yeah, the kills are so drastically in favour towards InFamous. It's unbelievable right now.
Look at this go.
And the reason generally we don't see C being held on its own, because those random back spawns come into effect, and we will be seeing what you love seeing, the B switch around. Here we go. InFamous working the way down from A. Malicium is on that site, but the Catwalk still has 2 players from ESC on it, so there could be a bit of a challenge coming down here.
Yeah, and that challenge should have been in the form of Toffee, but Toffee actually going straight back down. Doobie's there with the res, though, and actually it's going to be Heist coming in from the side for InFamous. Actually, they're kind of alongside each other, kind of behind enemy lines right now. He's going to put in that medkit down, looking to find something across on towards that B side. And this is kind of that side distance from B up in that north area is going to be really key to keeping hold of that site right now. ESC on the offensive, though.
Yeah, they certainly are looking to try and claim this one back, not losing out on too many tickets. Good work from Doobie there, taking down Tony. That's going to at least lighten the load a little, but he's now going to be pressured from the inside of the buildings, as Bird was still standing. And, well, he's got the follow-up on towards Benny as well. So that's some good play, but it looks like the side's been a little overwhelmed. But look at the play from Heist around the side. He can pick up some big kills here. He's going to take down Turtle, which is Jera, and look for another, which, well, he might just get... Oh, he's not going to get this one, surely not, but he's chasing Doobie down like a champion. And it's a clean exchange in the end. And all in the meanwhile, B still being battled over between these two.
Look at them go. So C still in the hands of ESC. Let's see how long that's for, though, as they've kind of gone for this kind of much more meta game AB. And look at challenge him is Pew Pew Turtle. Obviously Genja. Genja? Excuse me. Going into LOL. Right, so...
We're going to call him Genja from now on. It's not Jera,
no, what have I done? It's not fair. He hasn't got his name on. I refuse to cast people who use false names. So let's have a little look what Tony's got in for us for InFamous. A team who seem to just really know how to control the pace of a game. Right now, do have that 30-ticket lead. Not sure how long for, though. I'm sure we're going to look into change that, as they actually have seen 3. Make it 4-man wipe. Nice play from Genja. There you go, yeah. My mistake. And Malicium. And actually, you're going to see a lot of kind of InFamous players swarming maybe from this C flag. But I think maybe not towards that A side. They're going to come into contact with quite a few players, especially Hupsucks.
Yeah, and it looks like Darren up top there, aka Tofi, trying to pick up A by himself. He's got 2 players moving. He's got the support from Benny coming in off that flank. A bit of fire from the side, not going to pay off though, and I think Tofi needs to back out of this and minimize the threat, but he's going on a bit of a one-man mission. C is being one back and forth between these guys. Genja, aka Jera, moves in, gets taken down, and we might be seeing a little bit of a reply now coming out from InFamous after a little bit of a test from ESC then.
Yeah, so ESC at the disadvantage at the moment. Those tickets are going to continue to go down whilst this AC is held. And we're seeing, actually, it's quite nice to see a bit of a split elsewhere from that B side. We're seeing this ACC changing hands, obviously, because of that kind of random spawn up in that kind of upper right corner. And actually, good to see what Toffee's got in store for us. He's kind of hasn't really moved from this position. Toffee's just been hanging out, putting fire on towards that B site, looking to pressure it. But obviously his absence from that site means we're going to see maybe a bit of a lack in actually capturing that B site. He's getting the picks, but if there's no one to push up on those picks, that B site's just going to stay quite firmly in the hands of InFamous.
You said there's no one to push up. We did see Jarrett toy with the idea of it. He eventually did go down to Birdzu, but we're seeing B still going back and forwards between these two. I don't think anyone's close enough. No, actually, Doobie is. So ESC might walk away with this one, even though the player really count is in favor to InFamous on the site. You can't shoot through those stairs, so Heist has to pick his target. Goes for the one on the left, takes down Jera, but bit of a clean exchange coming out in the end, and it looks like InFamous getting the revives on the site might walk away with a small advantage, unless Benny can do something pretty incredible.
Yeah, you say small advantage. Let's see for how long this small advantage. It could grow quite swiftly into a big one, unless, of course, Benny has something to say about it. He certainly does. He's on that site, looking to take down what he was looking to take down Melissa. Not going to get his name wrong.
Yeah, Melicium.
Melicium. I was right. Okay. Don't want to be a replay of Genja. Genja goes down as well. Nice play. We're actually seeing 4 players of InFamous just swarming on towards B, and Heist has taken Tony's place on that bomb site.
Yeah, and this is just InFamous getting into the mood of things, trying to find out how ESC are playing. And they've generally been winning out overall on the B side. They've been able to maintain either C or A, which is perfectly fine. And they just reinforce when necessary. It's not hard. Birds is probably going to fall back to help out Kremba because he spotted out a good couple of players. It might make it slightly easier on towards B. So if Tony might come under pressure, or maybe Heist. But they can kind of get that respawn in onto whoever gets the next hit coming through. So they're probably going to save the respawn of Melicium until they know. Melicium comes in. He's going to support up by A just in case. But it's actually going to be split through down towards B. Tony finds 2, but he does get taken down in the end as Benny now up on his own, and InFamous just maintaining.
Yeah, and Benny doesn't really need to move. His presence is enough to put a bit of a spanner in the works for InFamous. Actually say that. Looks like Birdzu's got other plans. Birdzu's going to be roaming around from this B side. I think he's got his eyes set on that C side, or at least looking to pick up some of these more aggressive plays from ESC. Right now, Doobie is the kind of been given the boring job, looking to catch off those kind of deep spawns. Benny's still on the prowl. Hupsucks is there as well, looking to get a bit more of an aggression towards this A site. And I think we're going to see InFamous look at this rotate straight away. Tony wakes up. He's there to back up his teammate Kremmer. And now we're going to see what Tony can do. 3 players pushing towards him. He's in a very bit of a sticky situation now, especially with the lack of ammo right now. 0 bullets in that magazine. Goes for the reload, and now he certainly has a bit more of the tools for the job. Looking to rotate as well is now Melicium. So it's a 3v3. Make it 4v3 with these spawns. And this A site isn't going to go down right yet.
No, Tony, great play there, coming out, eventually taking down the kill. Birdzu supporting, but Benny's still alive. He could do something here, but he's just not getting the shots off, and it's allowing a push around the backside from Kremer, who comes in, gets the job done. Surely gets one, gets the second with Melicium in tow, and Tony pistol comes out for the finisher, and Benny goes down. So a nice clean slate kept up by A, and the time it's taken for that push from ESC to come in. Look at the ticket deficit, 24 to 117. This is the one-sided game I was afraid we were going to see. InFamous look like they're out for business today.
Yeah, look at them, almost being completely written off by InFamous. Just shrugging, and I mean, look at the positioning from Heist. He's kind of taken over, doing Tony's job better than Tony. So he's been completely relocated. And look at the positioning right now. See those last remaining tickets, 13 tickets left for the poor crippled ESC side. They still have C, and poor Doobie really has that just sit back and watch, really. Kind of try and take down Heist on that side, kind of B area, but I don't think he's going to be getting out anything from it. And I mean, 115 tickets. We saw these 2 ridiculous ESC comebacks, but I'm starting to see a couple of cracks in the ESC paint job.
Well, considering they've got a team with 112 tickets against them, I think it's more than a crack now, and we're seeing a little bit of work coming out from Jera there on towards A, but a 4-man response from InFamous. They're not giving this site up at all. They're just leaving Heist to get a little bit more aggressive by B to make sure no one can easily work their way through, but you know, final tickets being counted down. This has been an outstanding performance by InFamous. Just solid play through and through, and a final double from Melicium just to end it off. And 110 tickets in favor to InFamous. That's near on impossible to turn around for ESC.
Really strong stuff.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
I mean, we admitted before we started, we said, you know, InFamous, if they play like they're capable, we're going to see a bit of a clean sweep. This was a demonstration of InFamous's ability. Going to the second half, I think they're going to kind of bring that same kind of pace. They do like to set the tone of the game. I don't think really ESC ever had a chance at kind of dictating, no, this is the pace we're going to play. because straight away InFamous, they went straight for that kind of surprise C capture.
Really unique start from InFamous. We don't often see it, and I want to point out every single player sitting positive for InFamous as well. Tony 10-5, 10-6 for Heist, Kremer 12-5, Melisium 12-7, and Birdzu 15-9. So all around, individually playing strong, as a team playing well. It's what we'd expect from InFamous. They had a little bit of a disappointing performance when we saw them before in their actual main group. I think they're in Group A, if I'm not mistaken. I may need to double check that, but all in all, they've had a solid performance on this one. This is the first half of the first map, obviously, but they are very good on Dawnbreaker, and I feel this could go downhill quite quickly unless, you know, maybe ESC find a bit of form here just to warm up for the next map, because I personally don't think they can turn this around. 110, a little bit too much to try and, you know, find a way through on. You start struggling at that point.
Yeah, it's a bit too much of a big pill to swallow. I think they're not going to really manage too much going into this. Maybe just a kind of accepting their losses, cutting their losses, sorry, and going straight for that second map. Because I think right now, Dawnbreak, especially with the way InFamous are playing, and I think ESC maybe just need to go back to the drawing board and head towards that second map, which of course we know is, I do have it somewhere, that second map's going to be Shang, I believe. Shanghai.
Well, Shanghai, funny enough, it's quite similar to this one. It's not as linear, but it's still pretty close. And I don't know, we're going to have to see, because at least now ESC are on the Chinese side. We do have the little boost coming into play, and I think we are possibly going straight to live. It looks as though it is. So it will be ESC starting on the Chinese side. On the US side, it will be InFamous, and there's going to be an 110 ticket deficit over towards ESC. But a great start nevertheless, Dewey picking up a double, but Melisium just powers his way in, 2-1 already, and looking like he wants to get that B site for himself. Yeah,
and look at the A site, completely untouched, the kind of virgin A, untouched by anyone right now. Tony's looking to change that though, heading towards it for InFamous, and I think they're going to be very happy with what they've got right now. B and C, and absolutely no way. Look how far ESC are from that A site. We're looking for an early trip cap right here, especially if they can keep this pressure on C.
Yeah, Melisium's looking committed. He does go down on the side there to Jera.
Doobie, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this one comes through. He's playing it smart. He's waiting for them to push past him. Heist comes around, gets taken down, and it's a bit of a clean sweep there. And maybe InFamous overextending a little. You know, they're allowing a push up towards A from Jera. He's playing smart. He's going quickly in towards the site. He's going to get the shot off. I don't think he's got the drop really there, as we do have two players now defending it, Tony and Heist, and the rest focusing towards B. But that's a little bit of trouble up on that catwalk, as we've seen Benny get up on towards the top side and take him down. So B could be in threat, A as well, but I think it's mostly a B push about to happen.
Yeah, I think this pressure on A could maybe cause a little bit of an overcommitment right now from InFamous. They've got two players there to defend it, but actually rightfully so. Hupsucks is coming up from behind. I don't know if they're particularly aware of it. Heist is going to get taken down quite nicely by Hupsucks. I think his teammate is going to be pushing in there as well. But actually Kremer there on the defense from InFamous. InFamous struggling to hold this A site. And for what cost is the question? Because right now, B site's looking a bit weak at the knees as well. Nice play from ESC. Maybe trying to dig their claws into this and try and get something started, because right now
look at the
need
tickets,
to see those tickets. Yeah, I was going to say.
110, there's 7 away. So yes, they can get a triple cap, but they have to be a little careful, to say the least.
Yeah, those respawns are going to have to be well thought out.
Yeah, they can't really afford to die at the moment, let alone lose this 2-1. So
we've seen crazier things. Well, we haven't, but we've seen slightly crazy things.
But we have seen crazier things overall. But I think at the end of the day, InFamous is playing far ahead of what we've been seeing out of ESC so far. This is a map that InFamous have become a little infamous on. GG's already being said. The 2-1 hold will probably be enough to tip this one over the scale, and we'll have to start looking at Siege of Shanghai already. It was just a very one-sided first map here, pretty much. There's not much more to say in that aspect, as InFamous just came out and meant business. There we go. Too many tickets have passed the limit. InFamous pick up the first map, and we need to turn our attention now to Siege of Shanghai, the next one coming up between these two. And ESC just need to really consider their options coming into this, how to play it out, how to play smart. It's still fairly linear.
I was going to say, if ever there were maps that were quite similar, Dawnbreaker and Siege definitely have the same kind of pace, which has been working for InFamous right now. They're going to be seeing constant exchanges, and I feel like poor Doobie's just going to be dumped in the same position as last time and really have very little time to shine.
Yeah, it might be. It might be an issue there. But still, I worry for these guys because they need to be a bit more consistent. ESC, they had a close enough first game as well. You know, let's be honest here. My Revenge, excluding the second halves of map, really did bring a very hard game to play. And if we're seeing a struggle already coming into effect, I'm not sure what we can really see overall from ESC if they're not performing now. I constantly hype them up because they have great players, but if they don't turn up when it matters, then that's the biggest issue. You know, InFamous struggled in the original group they were put in. Didn't really show us much of what we expected, but now they're making up for it, because to have a 110 lead after one half of the map, a clean 2-0 victory in the first, they are truly on course to get into these offline finals, or at least have a chance in them. So at the moment, ESC need to have a complete turnaround, I feel, and you know, Shanghai is going to be a hard map to do it on. I think maybe if they went for like a out-of-the-box pick, maybe, you know, Railway, Locker, something else, you know. InFamous used to be great on these maps when they had the FAMAS, but they don't use them anymore. They use a more well-rounded way of approaching it. I don't know, though. Shanghai's going to be a tough one.
Talking about that FAMAS, sorry, you just kind of hit a trigger in my brain. You just mentioned the FAMAS. We know how good InFamous, they were a real top team, high contender with that FAMAS, and now that that's been banned, we saw the replacement, didn't we? We saw that CZ. Yeah. Do you think maybe that's something they're going to pick up maybe later into the groups, and maybe that's going to be a factor?
I don't think they need to. I think they were a little bit of a one-trick pony when they had the FAMAS, because, excuse me, once you learn how to play against it, you never really had to worry. You know, once you realised it, keeping them at arm's length, find the long-range sites, and then dominate the spawns. If you can keep these guys further away, they have to change up the weapons, and when they don't just have that FAMAS, it becomes a really kind of awkward mixture. So, for me, I think it's better for InFamous to have to learn to play from, you know, back to basics Battlefield, basically. I think it suits them better. I think they can come off a bit better from it, using my words. Yeah, I think overall they're a better team with FAMAS and the newer additions.
We're kind of forcing them to play a bit more
smart. They have to actually play the game how you're meant to play it, rather than this like, okay, well, let's play this style that only works on X amount of games, and then, you know, you've got to keep in mind that if the top teams work it out, you'll see that against them, and it all spirals down very, very quickly. Just letting the teams know that I'm ready when they are. Hopefully you're still with us in the server. But yeah, I think they're better overall. They just need to get used to it. Obviously, once a team plays with a style for so long, that when it switches up, they have that little bit of growing period, a little bit of a time to kind of fit in with the normal style. I think that they don't need to go to the cheesier picks, because when I speak to Fnatic about how they ever lost maps, it was basically because, we lost because a team did some cheesy strat. You know, we hate playing with the FAMAS. We like to play, you know, basic Battlefield. We don't like to play these out-of-the-box games. And I think a team's better off if they can learn to play basic stuff. You know, they don't need to depend on these kind of really cheesy strats. I think it's better for InFamous, and I think we're going to see that here now. But ESC have a lot to prove. They need to kind of get the job going very, very quickly.
Yep, seen them sorting themselves out with these spawns, seen a couple of suicides come in and get the best position they possibly can. Now, yet again, this does just feel like not necessarily a complete carbon copy, but we are going to see a lot of similarities here with Dawnbreaker, and let's see if InFamous can kind of carry on what they started. Let's see, I want to see just where they spread themselves, see the split. Are they going to head towards that A site like they did previously and kind of go for that surprise? Whether or not it will be a surprise remains to be seen.
Well, at the moment, we're going to see a bit of an interesting start here, so let's see what Melisium can do as well, because he's running with the AEK, a gun that, you know, we often see didn't become the natural successor to the FAMAS, but it was certainly within the same kind of bracket of weaponry, and also the ACWR in the hands of Heist. So InFamous certainly switching up a couple of weapon choices. They're going to walk away with A and then leave kind of ESC in a bit of an awkward predicament, stuck in the middle. So just to review, US side will be InFamous, Chinese side will be ESC. First map went to InFamous. And overall, you know, B is generally the site you want to pick up because it's a jump-off site, and the respawns will normally come in around the back of C. So I can imagine eventually InFamous will push out towards that B flag if they lose out on C right now, if Tony feels he's under too much pressure.
Yeah, and I feel like if anyone was going to defend it well, Tony is the man. He's definitely got the aim. He's got the patience as well, something that's really kind of integral to kind of being that. I don't want to say the boring role. I don't want to use that B word, but it's a role that needs to be done, a real necessary role. And especially with these outer spawns, we saw Hopsuck pick it up just there, spawned right next to that C site, and let's see exactly how it plays. He's going to be doing a lot of 1v1s and see how it pays off for him. In the meantime, though, I still feel like ESC kind of backed up into a corner right now. And we see a nice couple of frags with the Ace 23 from Crema on the roam. And actually, what's this, around this A site? Yeah,
they had a really nice spawn out towards A, and it's quite rare to get it, but at the moment, Benny could actually pick this one up. He's in a perfect spot. Oh, he shoots too early. He's got the kind of respawn of Hopsucks coming in, but still, he's given away the game a bit there, but there we go. He does finally get the kill, but in the reinforcements, Bird is coming around. At the moment, InFamous do have the 2-1, and ESC walk away with A, but they didn't manage to maintain B, so it's a bit of a shame because they could have had the better setup then.
Yeah, and that BC is still going to be a real nice one for InFamous to hold. Obviously, that A site, little bit kind of further away from their remaining sites, so this is going to be kind of almost better for them in terms of defense. But I don't think they need to risk anything else right now. InFamous can kind of take a little bit of a low-risk strategy, position themselves in this middle area between their B and C sites, maybe throwing a couple more numbers towards this B side. Right now, Hupsux is challenging them, just hanging out by the car, doing an MOT while he waits for that flag to capture. He's done it quite nicely, and no real threat from InFamous in the process.
No, I think they're trying to gather themselves, work out where the opponents are. As you said, they don't need to rush too much. They've got a 138 ticket lead. And once they work out where the weakness is, they might start pushing it. However, they've been picked up on the street, and the 2-1 will maintain for some time. And really, InFamous being shut down here. And I've got to say it, it's not looking too good for them. They need to find that route across the road. We did see the fact that a couple of players went down towards the west side, so they could make a push out of that one. And still, InFamous need to kind of regroup, respawn themselves in, get towards a better position, maybe open up a site and then start pushing. Melisium's in the spot to do so, but he's going to have to get across that road. With that AEK, it's not the best weapon in this sort of range, but once he gets a little closer, he could certainly do some damage.
Yeah, and this is what InFamous do so well. They kind of stacked the big French force. It's like a fist just charging straight towards that A site. And they just start swinging. Not going to actually go for the capture just yet. They haven't managed to cross that street, though. There's actually 3 or 4 members heading towards B, splitting off, though. It's all on Melisium. And look at that very smart play, forcing that far distance spawn. Toffee is going to be left with C. It actually looks like Krem is going to try to question that one. B has been brought to that neutral state, but I don't think they're going to be able to challenge. I think there's 4 players now for ESC respawning around that area. Still, A and C, they're not going to be complaining. That's still that 2-1 advantage, and they're going to start that bleed ticking away for the ESC side.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I was going to say I was really impressed originally with the InFamous style of play. Then they put one man towards A to pick it up and then split the rest over towards B because they knew they'd cleared it out, keeping track of the numbers and the players. But now they're kind of in between. B still in the hands of ESC. They're going to be able to push back around the side. Tofi doing just that, picking up the double and taking back the side for himself on towards A. Very well played there. They've already got B and even pressuring on towards C. ESC are making a bit of a stand out of this one. They're certainly not going to go down without a fight. Fire coming in from the respawns from InFamous, though, will keep this one in check, and they should start pushing off of this towards maybe A or B. I feel as though InFamous getting a little bit held up here, though. It's not the simple game that we saw before.
No, I think they're definitely having their intentions questioned now towards these sites. Nice. I think the ESC are quite comfortable in the defensive role right now. We've seen Benny and Pew Pew Turtle just hanging out by that site, and they don't really need to move. B obviously should be kind of contested a lot more than it has been, and I think that's really kind of detriment to the way InFamous are playing, which is kind of trying to force these crosses across the street, which is such a dangerous maneuver, especially with the kind of lack of cover you can get on the siege of Shanghai. So they're kind of just forcing their numbers across the street, and right now it's not working.
No, it's definitely not. They might even lose out on C. And Jera there reading the situation very well, heading off on his own. He's going to force Tony to come down for the aggressive attack and gets denied on it. And this really does spell trouble for InFamous. They're being outplayed right now, and that's going to be reflected in tickets very soon.
Oof.
And
getting very close.
Yeah, Tofi's still doing a great job. Hupsux could be in trouble, though. He's going to go down to Melisium. Maybe not pushing together just as a collective unit at the moment, but still. 2-1 hold. The tickets will be even any second now, and ESC certainly deserve it. They've been putting some really...
Yeah, they're certainly hitting it for the long haul. Not going to go down without a fight. We see some great work with that ace in that middle area. Looking for another one as well. It's all coming up good for ESC right now. Tony actually defending quite nicely with the AEK, but look at this aggressive play now from Hupsux, looking to retake that B site. He's actually going to go down in the process, but that doesn't stop that B site changing hand, confirming and staying with the ESC side. So BC hold, actually looking for that triple cap as well in the hands of Tofi. It's not going to be lasting long though. Look at that swarm of Frenchmen over that C site, and they're going to be quite happy to take C back. But look at the tickets full. InFamous starting so well and then feeling this slow and kind of steady bleed courtesy of ESC. It's really good to see ESC are not out of this one.
No, definitely not. ESC making a bit of a point in this, and now seeing a couple of kills being exchanged. Melisium does get a nade towards Tofi, and they're going to start making the push towards A. It seems still a player behind them. Doobie might come around the backside. We've even got Benny coming to fall back from B. And he might be able to stop this one. Doobie has found Tony. So 2 players still on the site there. Kremer being one and Melisium being the other. They can really do some damage. And on the split, Doobie comes back around. Hipfire comes in with that ACWR. Takes down Kremer. And A might not be an easy pickup here for InFamous. But they do have the 2-1 finally. But that B site hold going out from ESC has been certainly impressive throughout the entire game.
I cannot think of a time where InFamous have held that site for, I mean, a quarter of the time that ESC have managed to hold them. There's big chunks of tickets coming out of the poor InFamous side. I can't really highlight just how little InFamous have done to try and retake that B site. They've just been forcing themselves towards A, almost as if they kind of accepted that they were never going to get B. It seemed like they kind of gave up a bit too soon in that one.
No, I tend to agree, and I've got to say, InFamous is struggling in every single form of the word. ESC are playing solid, but nothing completely special, just a little bit, you know.
Standard almost,
pretty much standard. They're playing a smart game, but InFamous just can't seem to take them down, and kill-wise, it's not too drastically bad. 41 kills to 49 kills is not hugely different, but they're just being caught out every single time, and InFamous is struggling to maintain one side, let alone two, so I think this game is certainly going to be going towards ESC if they don't mess up at the end of this.
Yeah, well, when you have to keep in mind, we do have that second half. We do have, obviously, that first map under InFamous's belt.
Yep.
So either way, we are going to be going into that second half with real with this ticket lead, this kind of minor. We're going to really look towards that second half now, especially time still ticking away as well as those tickets. So only 20 left. As we're seeing, actually, Kramer rocking a little bit of something different there with that support class. Actually, I'm telling you, a massive porcupine. It's not the support class whatsoever. My field of view has changed to ridiculously far away. I don't know what I've done.
He's broken it, but still.
Retake away.
At the moment, A site's still being kind of battled over between these guys, but you know it has just been a solid performance by ESC. They've done well in this one. Hopsex is the last man standing in this squad, though, so he might be in a bit of trouble, and they might lose out on some of these sites very soon. Still reinforcing on towards B. The challenge has come down, and it's just InFamous not being able to play the A and C game a little better, because B is normally the side that they like getting towards, they like dominating from, but it's not really finding this time. They do have a triple cap, though, and they might even get a squad wipe to boot. Tofi, the last man standing, gets the fire down, finds Bird, who watches the push from the backside. Melisium takes him out, but the respawn comes in, and this could spell trouble. Maybe a bit of a turn of events. This triple cap might last, even if it's a 2-1 towards the end.
Yeah, not looking bad at all right now for the ESC side. Obviously, InFamous do look good with that A-B hold. Maybe too little too late. They finally get their hands on B. Their grubby, battle-hardened hands on that B side. I don't think it's going to be particularly revelation and big smiles for the InFamous side, because it is just that little too late. Obviously, they've managed to keep it relatively level. Look at the tickets really going to be coming down to the wire, so they're going to be looking towards that second half. Maybe just getting a feel for where the other team's strengths lie. Obviously, we know we're well aware of what ESC's strength is on this map, which is just that B hold. So maybe just trying to get a feel for what they can do differently into that second half now.
Yeah, I'd say you're pretty much spot on there. And they're not being quick enough here. InFamous should have already been out by that C flag. They should have been there 5 minutes ago. Well, not 5 minutes ago, but you know, a good bit of time ago. Because now it's going to be it's a 1-1 even split. 7-11 tickets. It's a very close game here. Both sides having to battle this one through. Melisium coming around with that AK still in hand, looking for the challenge here. Not going to find it too easily though, and they're still going to be having a BC hold, and this could turn around, and ESC might actually lose this half.
Yeah, and look at those tickets fall, 7-4. And actually, we've seen the ESC side falling out. Actually, they're going to be losing those last couple of tickets. And I do not believe, with only one ticket remaining, InFamous technically, I'm going to use that word, technically winning that half. But wow, it felt like that was all up ESC.
Yeah, ESC just turned up at the start. And then InFamous out of nowhere, like, hey guys, let's actually win this half.
We could try taking it, yeah.
And try and sort it out. ESC actually going down to 4 members at the end, then hopefully that's not going to be a remaining factor here. I'd like to make sure that all the players are in place and it's not going to be like a one-sided affair. But yeah, 7-ticket advantage to InFamous. It's not a great deal, but it's still a substantially large enough amount to give them the win on the half. And any benefit at this point is a touch. But I only felt InFamous actually became strong when they did have that B-A hold. They had the triple cap, and then they fell back away from C and left that to their opponents. When it's a more typically played out Shanghai, they seem to do a little better for InFamous, that is. Whereas ESC can play a little bit of an unorthodox game style. They like that B hold. They like to kind of use it as a rotate point, jump off where necessary. And InFamous just didn't really get their hands on the sites they wanted, therefore started to struggle a little bit. So if InFamous don't pick up the sites they want at the start, we could see a very close game again between these two.
I think that's what everyone wants to see in chat as well. Maybe you guys in chat, bringing you guys into it. Let's see a little prediction for this one. It really could go either way. I mean, look at the way that game ended. 7 tickets in it. So personally, Lauren, actually, no, I'm not going to say. Lauren, where do you see this going?
Why are you leaving it to me, Alex?
Well, I'm interested. I don't want to kind of obscure your opinion with my theory.
With your filthy theories. All right, I think I think this is hard to predict. I think
Yeah,
InFamous
look
have
into
still
the
got
way
it.
they played though.
I think InFamous have still got it. If they get
do?
their B
Okay.
flag, yes.
So see, me, I'm starting to kind of get a bit of a ESC hope, bit of a hype. Maybe it's because I've
The
counted their
hype for
game before as
ESC.
well.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
you got a little bit
so
of.
maybe
You're a
I'll
bit
kind of.
biased. Okay,
I'm
cool.
a bit biased, maybe, but I mean, watching the
Hashtag
way they
biased
held B
caster.
would be, it'd be great to see if they could do that again, especially seeing how poorly they did it on maybe that first map, Dawnbreaker, going into Siege of Shanghai and showing actually we are capable of defending. Maybe that they just took a while to warm up. Bearing in mind, of course, they've already had a game, prior to this.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I just think it's all down to how they start this one out, InFamous. If they come away with the AB hold, they're golden. As long as they get B to start with, I think they'll be fine. It's whether or not they do that, and I'm not sure if we're going straight back live. No, ESC is still missing a player, so I can imagine it might take a little bit of time here. Oh, no, he's back with us, so he might actually be going straight live. Just double check. Hold on, guys at home. But yeah, let's... But yeah, what's your thoughts then? Because you're saying you're backing ESC. Why?
Yeah, just purely based on the way they held that site. I mean, I was so shocked when I saw those tickets falling away from them. Felt like they started so well, almost like a completely fresh team. But then to go in to have, well, I mean, InFamous demonstrated that they really are a team not to be messed with. I mean, the way that they approached crossing the street at the start felt a bit foolish, and we saw the tickets to kind of enforce that. But then as soon as they kind of woke up and realized, actually, you know, this B site isn't completely unpenetrable, they actually started bringing the tickets back. So I mean, that's what I want to see. I feel maybe going into this ESC, it might have to do something different. I don't think what they did to secure that early lead is going to work necessarily again. But I still, just for the fun of it, I'm going to say ESC. All
right, so we're supporting different teams here.
Oh, hang on, we have a fun person in chat. We see something saying, if InFamous doesn't go to the AC hold, they win. And I mean, what do you have to say about that?
I agree, because I think they should have the AB hold.
Yeah, AC. It seems like they're digging their own graves when they go for the AC.
Okay, so like generally, if we see like an unorthodox hold that includes like the further away side, there's always like one that's slightly nearer the random spawn. So like on Locker, it's B. On Dawnbreaker, it's C. Whichever side, there's always one that's slightly further out. If you can stop the random respawns coming in such an ideal position on that site, then go for it. Like on Dawnbreaker, you'll see a player playing further back in their little kind of like hut at the back, because that'll stop the spawns coming in behind him. It'll force it out towards the street. Perfect. But if you can't do that on Shanghai, because I haven't seen a team be able to kind of manipulate the spawns that well, why are you going for it? It doesn't make sense. It means that they'll get a BC setup and then you'll push back to maybe A or even behind C. It's too quick rotating. It's not smart enough. InFamous need to play standard Battlefield sometimes. Like, I get it. If you have a way to stop the reason most people do it, then fine. You know, that's absolutely cool. I think we are going to be going live this time. Yeah, good luck, have fun, have been said. I want to see what InFamous go for. They need to play this one smart, though.
Look at those numbers. So 3, as expected, InFamous going to be heading towards that B side. Nice to see maybe a bit of standard Battlefield. This time, though, not so much from the other side. ESC looking to bring an early attack on towards this A site. Looks to be falling a little short, though. Tofi actually managed to be the last remaining man on that site. Kind of a bit of a kill exchange over there. We're going to see actually going for the AC hold. What did we hear earlier in chat? They said the AC hold is obviously quite a disaster. And look, the cost it is with Melisium is now going to be free to push towards really kind of uncontested right now.
See, but the thing I think they wanted to do was this, it would be a anti-clockwise rotation. So pushing from C down towards A and then continuing the push around towards B. We've seen it from a couple of teams, but it takes a lot of kind of cohesion, a lot of, you know, communication being on absolute point. And if you don't have that, you don't get it. And right now we're going to see InFamous with that triple cap coming out, and ESC maybe trying a little bit too much and, you know, biting off more than they can chew here. They're going to try and make a push towards A, but it's gone terribly wrong for them. But Jara making a stand, picking up a double, and maybe securing the side. As Tony has something to say about it.
Yeah, Jera really is a kind of hit or miss player. Right now, he is all coming up hit. Look at that scoreboard. He's doing well for his team. Actually going for 2 for 3, but the fact that those 2 kills have happened in a matter of seconds on this ace fence gets a third as well on towards Birdzu, and he's kind of really secured that A site, and he's written his name all over it in Sharpie as well. So obviously that B is now being contested. Benny's doing nice with Hupsucks So they're going to secure that AB hold, something that they're really going to try and hold on to now. And it really is the question of how long it takes InFamous to finally get across that street.
Exactly that. Can they break the street defense? One, Tony going on his own then is a terrible idea. Kremer should have pushed with him, with Heist, and all together make the move. They're now going to be getting across the street, but it's allowed Tofi to move around the back. But he's going to have to get a 1v2 unless he gets some respawns in. Now a 1v3. This is looking a little bit dangerous for Tofi.
It is, and I mean, we have to recognize Heist has been doing great work with this lore, great work with the engineer class in general, just applying that kind of more SMG, more kind of explosive pressure that he has the ability to do. And right now, he's in a great position to do it. He's putting
look at Jera, though, right around the backside on A. This could be big.
It could. You need to tell me exactly where he is. Can't find him just yet on that A site. There he is. Finally found the man, just a little too late, as he's going to be capturing that A flag. And that's looking very good right now from ESC. Very still neck and neck, and obviously this has been going neck and neck, tit for tat throughout this first half as well. And so those tickets, I can't see them separating by any sort of large margin. Yeah,
and off the bat straight away, InFamous just didn't go for the right sides, and ESC went, sorry, we're going to get A and B and just leave you in that same predicament you were in before. So as sensational as InFamous were at the very end, they just really haven't been able to translate that from the last half to this one. They seem to be going through those same problems of working off of C, and a near-on squad wipe brings it all into fruition, and this is terrible stuff for InFamous. This looks like they're going to go to a third map, unless really they sort themselves out right here, right now, because they're about to get triple capped.
And I was going to say, Hupsucks has the audacity to push on towards that C site. He knows they've been forced back to that distant spawn. He's gone on towards C site. He's starting to question it, takes it out of their hands, manages to take one with him. He was looking for that second one, and you have to recognize he is using that CZ.
He certainly is, and it's working out well, really damn well. And he's buying time, basically. That's all it is. He can now respawn in to whichever area needs reinforcement, so decides mid, comes back through, and no one's really gained any ground. Takes down Melicium with that lore. The rocket launcher comes out. He follows up on towards Heist with the CZ. This man is on fire at the moment. He's making the difference. He's going to go in for another, but Birdzu denies in the end. But the damage has been caused. Another near-on squad wipe, and InFamous just do not have a response right now. Again, stuck down towards C. They just seem to be running into this street. The crossfire is too good. They're not just, they're just really not going through in the way they should be. And it's just frustrating to watch because they're such a better team at times.
It really is refreshing to see ESC coming up with such dominance. And InFamous really have no answer for this right now. Do see actually Tofi going down. That could be the catalyst in this B attack. We see that's now all falling to Benny. He's going to be hanging around trying to get that respawn onto him. Does get it, as he's going to be heavily tagged. Nades coming in towards his location as well. As still standing, but not for much longer. He goes down. Heist is on the aggressive with that ace, and he gets one. Melicium with two as well. And that is going to be just one man remaining in that squad for ESC. And that is going to be the offense I thought would secure B. Didn't.
It's given InFamous B, but why are they not pushing out towards A? Why are they like, hey, let's get B and C, because that's worked out well. It's worked so well so far. My God, InFamous, you really don't learn, do you guys? Like, if they turn this around, great. But look, here's those Northern Swans. Benny coming in. Hupsucks already here. They've gone for the exchange on A with a couple of players. It doesn't make sense to me. It's going to bring the scoreline a little closer, but it's too dangerous. And Hupsucks gets the first. They're coming into this, gets a couple more, and now just Kremer alive on this site. They've made the same mistakes, and they're about to get triple capped if they're not careful.
Yeah, they need to be careful. It certainly is the opposite word, because looking at the way Benny is, you're getting frustrated right now. Just watching the way
I want to hit my head on the keyboard.
And you're right in saying it's just InFamous making mistakes. I mean, I wanted to kind of really enhance just how good ESC could play. Right now, we're not necessarily seeing that. We're just seeing InFamous completely, almost disrespecting the way ESC can defend. They're not really giving them the respect they deserve, and just throwing bodies at bomb sites.
Yeah. And ESC did the smart thing. They spawned up at C. They went, let's challenge a little bit of C, but we want B in the end because that's the more important site. And that's where they went towards. Currently 84 to 51. They have the AB hold. ESC are in the lead, and they deserve every second of it. InFamous are playing a tunnel vision game. They're getting stuck in the worst places. They're being crossfired out of this game. And right now, I don't think they're going to be able to cross this street at all. If they do, it's a little bit of luck more than anything. And Jera finding Melicium there, just adding insult to injury in this. And they're finally breaking in, but at this point, I'm not sure if it's even, with enough time left. They really have to turn things around here.
They certainly do. ESC stronger than ever. Tofi really representing for his team right there. Gets one, looking for the second as well, trying to defend, really attack this A site. But I don't think they're trying too much. They're not going to pull an InFamous. They're not going to try and throw unnecessary numbers towards a site. Re-securing that C site after a quick change of hands. And they're just holding this perimeter so very strongly right now.
Yeah, and InFamous need to turn this into a B flag about 2 seconds, 10
well,
seconds
a minute ago. Yeah.
They're going over aggressive towards C. Birdzu doesn't need to be this far up. He's now surrounded by 2 players. He's going to get 1. He'll be lucky to get the second. He's going to have to prone down. He's not going to get away from it. And, this is just short-sighted play from InFamous. They need to be playing smarter than this. 27-78. This is a one-sided game now in the second half. And I'm a little worried here. This looks like a third map, and I did not expect that.
No, we thought we were going to see a real kind of wipeout from InFamous. We started seeing that on Dawnbreaker. We thought that was going to translate on towards the Siege of Shanghai with those kind of similarities in both pace and structure. But right now, looking really like ESC are kind of back in the game. We've seen this kind of false confidence from ESC before, though, but maybe this is not going to be a repeat of previous games. So get that third one as well. Going to be securing C. I'm not sure of how long. We do see that trip cap shattered and nice and early, but with only 8 tickets remaining, InFamous are going to start looking towards that third map.
Oh, they've been surely looking at for the last 10 minutes. Yeah.
Let's have a little look. What is it going to be?
I can't believe this. Parasol Storm, it's going to be hard on to call. I'd say ESC, considering they can play that CZ3A1 really well on that. But, that was mistake after mistake for InFamous. I hate calling out teams like this, but they should have been able to win that if only they played a normal game of Battlefield. They're trying this unorthodox style, this strange style. Don't even try and turn it around on 1 ticket. That's not going to happen right here. Because only Birdzu's alive. I did just double check in case, but no. It's not going to happen as soon as anyone... Why not? Just to give more time there. And there we have it. It's going to be a 1-all tie right now. ESC are back in the game, and I've got to say it's pretty much down to InFamous just playing a stupid game.
Talking of stupid games, saw in chat there, Tony from the InFamous side said only spawn kill. And that could not be any worse of a summary for why InFamous lost that one right there.
Tony, please.
That he's 5 for 13 on the scoreboard. Maybe just a sign of frustration. I know everyone can get that, especially in the kind of the FPS fast-paced. But regardless, I think blaming spawn kills is going to be real detriment to maybe in this third map. They could start kind of maybe losing that mindset, which has been kind of keeping them quite strong in that first map particularly.
See, it's so frustrating. Why did they do that? Guys at home, surely you saw this. I don't understand why they didn't do that. And Kifodo was the guy, I think, in chat who you're talking about. You're absolutely spot on. Why on earth they did the game style they did, I don't know, InFamous. I'd like to talk to them, and actually have a look through the actual action plan there, because they were really playing this strange game style that just didn't work out at all. And if we're going to talk about the next map coming up, which is Parasol Storm, it's fast, close action, very destructible walls.
Very destructible.
It's seriously, it can just be leveled. It's very similar to Railway to an extent, and we saw what ESC could do once they started to pick up the style of My Revenge with those CZs. We actually saw a player just completely running with it now, Hub Sucks. I think he's going to come into his own on this map. I think we might even see 2 engineers being played if they fancy it at the very start, just to kind of level the map out. There's several ways of doing this. The unorthodox style is the one that I think ESC should play to. If InFamous want to try it out, then they have to adopt the CZs. I don't know, though. It's going to be a really hard game to predict now, because that last map should have been InFamous's, but they just forgot how to play Shanghai completely and utterly for some ungodly reason. So, I don't know. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of a change-up from these guys going forward.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. And the thing I'm worried about, the thing I really do worry about, is I'm a big believer in mindset. I'll say this every cast I ever do.
Momentum.
Momentum. I try to avoid that word, but you've dropped it now.
But it's your favourite word.
It's true. It's a real thing. So with this momentum,
I heard you bring up tit for tat, so there's no need to go down this route. All right. I heard you say my previous very favorited phrases.
Well, I've moved on from tit for tat. Yeah, sticky situation used to be mine. I used to say that far too much.
Yeah, you like that one. You still say it quite a bit. Get a wiggle on.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you're a big fan of it.
I don't know about that.
We're going to do some analysis of Alex's casting right now, because there's not much more to say about InFamous after their last playstyle.
Well, the only thing I was going to my closing note on InFamous is that I'm just judging this by a comment from Tony. I feel like maybe losing that map that they must have felt quite confident, as did we, that they were going to secure, that might knock them on tilt. We might see them kind of slipping a couple of tickets they maybe shouldn't have given away. And maybe, just maybe, ESC might be in with a real chance on this one, especially with this close proximity map.
They could be. It shouldn't have got to this. This is the bigger point. It should never have got to this map by any stretch of the imagination. So for me, this is a mistake, for one, to let them get towards this point. Just going to let the admins know I'm ready. But yeah, it should not have got to this. I think this could be a dangerous map. InFamous used to be very competent on this, but I worry. It should never have got this far. It's as simple as that. InFamous should have locked down that last map, should have played smarter. But still. We'll see. We'll see. They're mocking my typing. My keyboard's over here, and they're like, Lauren, go home, you're drunk, and I'm just unable to type. It's a bit of a problem at the moment. Leave me alone. The meanies. But still, yeah, I don't know. Your final prediction, you actually said ESC were going to pick up that last map.
I did, yeah, so I'm looking good so far.
Well.
I felt like they represented it. Represented it? Defended it. That was a big jump from defended.
And I'm the drunk one. Jeez.
Yeah, you are. I don't know,
yes,
but,
you are.
I felt like they defended it so well in that first half. It really it looked great for them. This one, I think it remains to be seen. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this first half goes. Do you think it's going to be as close as that first half was for these two teams?
I'm not even giving my opinion anymore. Logic
you're
to go out the window. Because,
you thought InFamous was going to take this one.
They should have. They should have won that last
take this
map.
one as well. Yeah, you're spot on.
No, I think ESC should win this one.
Ooh.
Well, let's look at it this way. When they play with the CZ3A1, when it goes like that, they play really well. They play a good close-range game. When they get into the better setups, they hold them. When InFamous don't play stupid, they're better. But, you know, sometimes playing like idiots seems to work. And I'm already seeing Benny running with the engineer class, and generally it's Hupsucks who does the same. So it could be going the way I expect with ESC, maybe picking up 2 engineers on this one and going forward.
So, bit of pathetic fallacy now, summarising InFamous's mood here. The weather is a little bleak. Everyone's kind of wiping the rain off.
It's a bit warm here in Germany, to be fair.
Oh,
I know you're talking about in-game, but they can't see that. Stop lying, Alex.
Oh, you're right. So, well, I mean, they know the map. They know what they're about to be battling on. Yeah. So it has been a lovely warm day, actually. You're right.
I want to see the Megalodon. Can I get in the water? Oh, we can't go far enough out for it, I don't think. I'm just going to go look in the water for a bit. There we go.
Go trying to find it out.
This is my life. I think it's to do with the the wind turbines that you hit as well. Those add to the effect. I don't want to find that little buoy thing. Boy, whatever it is. God damn it. But yeah, I spent many times on this map looking for that damn shark, and it ruined my very impressive stats, and I was very sad, all in all.
Queen esports.
Yeah, this is my life.
Searching for that Megalodon. Right, so this map I'm not all too familiar with. What are we going to be expecting, and for those guys at home as well, what are we going to be expecting in the kind of competitive environment? Where are they going to be aiming to capture, and what are we going to see the most action at?
See, I like to give you logical reasoning, but then
okay. Well, let's pretend these teams play logically.
Okay, so logically, InFamous. They would go for the B-A hold, I'd say.
Right.
Mostly focusing on having players within the 3 main buildings around that B site. Mostly having 1 towards a singular building, watching the push down from C, and then having double ups in between the major sites, and then maybe 1 down towards the back by the crates, watching it, and then 1 out on A. Somewhere around that marker would be a good setup for them. Mostly to keep the respawns for ESC up towards the C site, and then they can easily just shoot them down on the way down. Simple as that. But you know, who knows? I'd say for ESC, they want to blow up those buildings, remove the cover there, and then bring it down to a ground game where they might come into their own. But whether or not that actually happens, I don't know, because teams just like to slap their heads on keyboards sometimes and just see where it takes them. So I think the teams are getting themselves ready. I'm not sure. And hope we can get underway nice and quickly. What are your thoughts? Who's going to pick this one up? Are you still sticking with ESC, or are you saying InFamous?
Yeah, I like ESC. I think the way they brought that back, and they looked pretty weak at the knees, and there's no doubt about that in that second half. But they managed to secure it eventually, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, hopefully, InFamous falling after what I have to say was a real despicable siege of Shanghai.
No, I tend to agree. I will have to see live after.
Oh, famous faces in the chat, guys. Mr. D-Man saying hello.
Oh, hi, Riot D-Man. You're the best. I think we are going live. I hope. All right. They're going to go live. We're going to assume so. Screw it. We're going into game. So,
all right, Lauren, take it away. So let's see exactly where they're going to be sending these numbers and if we're going to be following that logical play style.
Look who's right, ESC, pick up engineers. I am correct. Sometimes. And they're going to remove all the cover, which makes sense. And I think this is where InFamous is going to struggle. It's a 3-2 split. No, actually a 4-1 split. They're just leaving Jarrett out by A, and they're focusing on picking up this B flag. But InFamous looking like they want to challenge as well, because Tony is up there doing the job. So it's going to be a bit of a scrappy start between these two, and we have to see how it kind of ends up coming through in the end of the display, because at the moment it's a trip cap coming in for InFamous, who are on that US side. But all in all, it's going to change around, it's going to change hands. ESC's game plan is not a quick one, it's a slow build-up. So hopefully they don't do it too slow, otherwise they're in trouble.
Yeah, and look at this. This is a trip cap that should not last long. Those tickets are going to start falling away fast for the ESC side. InFamous got big smiles on their faces right now. See how long they last. We see that A site finally slip away and change hands. But for how long? That is the question. Heist is looking to question the status here. Pushing towards there. They're looking for someone down the defense. I don't think he's going to be able to find it, though, as we're seeing a very passive Pew Pew Turtle. And in the meantime, Toffee is there as well, alongside Hupsucks, looking to hold one of this B site. B site's going to be changing hands as well, and this is very nicely played from his defensive ESC.
Yeah, but Melisium did come out towards A. Oh, but Jera with perfect play, or Genja as you called him, coming through, picking up the double and securing the A side by himself, and leaving the rest of his team just to focus on towards B. They pulled Melisium across, which was exactly what they wanted to do, and it's paid off very well. They need to be able to maintain it, because InFamous doing what I expected, get themselves into those buildings and just kind of trying to dominate within cover, but it's going to become a little bit harder as that storm comes in, those buildings fall apart, and ESC might start getting that foothold in towards this game. 134 tickets to 119, however, it's still quite drastically in favor to InFamous right now, but it will change slowly but surely if ESC keep this game style up.
Yeah, it's absolutely great to see these tickets going to be kind of relatively level. And oh, great play actually with that Laura again. Really kind of, I think I'm just a bit of a sucker for a nice RPG kill. But regardless, a nice play.
You didn't say big rocket.
And I didn't say I'm a sucker for a big rocket, no. So A and C, not the most ideal hold, and we're going to see the reason for that right now, as InFamous are going to be kind of throwing numbers. I believe it's 3 players towards that A site. No one's there to contest, so we're going to see that go towards InFamous, and they're going to be looking to hold on to that for as long as possible. For those of you that have just joined us, this is the 3rd map, and so you have to really recognize that these teams are very levelly matched, and that's represented in the tickets right now.
It certainly is, and you can see the turnaround already happening from ESC. They're a little bit more scrappy with it. It looks like InFamous want to play the more set-up game, the smarter game overall, and play for the longer hold. They do have A and B, but they don't have the players in the buildings. They have to give up one for the other. ESC are forcing the reassure that. They've got 3 players within these buildings now. They're getting ready for the challenge. They just need to make sure they don't get picked off individually and make sure they still maintain that C site, because players are starting to look towards it as to how to hedge their bets on B.
Yeah, and hedging their bets on B is exactly what's being considered. Look at this duel with Hupsucks. Actually finally gets the better of Heist. And Benny's alongside him as well. So nice play from him as he's going to be progressing towards this B site. And B site has been under this InFamous control for a very long time. Looking to question that is Hupsucks and Benny, though. Both going to be on that together. No one's there to question it immediately, so we might actually be seeing a bit of a trip cap coming in for ESC. And it's kind of come out of the blue. Didn't see this one coming. It's going to be looking to level those tickets out. Currently looking to stop that bleed, which is kind of starting to increase that lead between the US and the China tickets. Yeah. What's happening over at C, though?
It's just what you'd expect. It's going to be InFamous trying to pick up the side that's easy. And that late game comp coming in for ESC that I expected once they remove that cover. You can see the buildings literally left in shreds from that law play coming out from Hupsucks. But still, B being challenged over. Flat out exchange between Benny and Kremer. But there were additional players for InFamous hanging around here looking to try and get their hands on it. Melisium being one. His teammate Heist did go down, so he's on his own. And the rather gruesome cry comes out then, and A also being captured over. It's a very fast-paced game, and ESC need to be able to keep pace with this. They need to be able to kind of do what they're being... They need to be able to keep up with what the game style they created, basically. It's hard to explain, but they have
you're absolutely spot on, yeah.
They have to be able to kind of live up to their faces. They still have the 2-1, but it's a BC hold, not ideal, and it's going to allow InFamous a foot in the door towards this B setup.
Yeah, and I think they're almost regretting this engineer choice just because of the way that InFamous are forcing them towards towards positions. InFamous are kind of carving and forming the way they want this game to go. And right now, ESC are not too happy with the outcome of it at the moment. Still, level tickets at the moment, 7 between them. Benny going to be playing great for ESC, looking to defend that. Hupsucks is going to question his authority, though, on that B site. In the meantime, we see a very sneaky A capture coming up. That's going to be just what the doctor ordered. Actually, InFamous going to get some spawns on towards the A site, looking to stop that in its tracks. I think that's going to be changing hands yet again. And look, are we going to see a potential trip cap? I think, unless Pew Pew Tail pulls some magic out of the hat, we're going to avoid that for a short period of time, or not. Look at that. Eating my words. B, A, and C safely under control. And now it's all really on InFamous.
Yeah, InFamous now struggling. Tickets finally going in favor to ESC. We're seeing Toofy coming up. He took his time down by A, perfectly done, waiting for the push out to happen, the rotation off the A flag, and then peers up, gets a couple of shots down, gets the spots, and allows his teammates to come into effect and do the damage. Pew Pew Turtle being one, but now the split two-man push coming out from the backside of that B side. Pew Pew Turtle will be waiting to see if Melicium goes for that push. He's going around the backside. It's a 1v2. If he comes out on top here, I might have to call him Genja for a little while because he's going to be playing certainly better than Jera was, but still, 1v3. I think he's a little bit outnumbered here now.
Yep, numbers are stacked against him. As are the tickets now. ESC in the driving seat, and they're going to keep slipping away with this AC hold. Not a bad kind of first half for ESC. Obviously, the bigger gap they can get between these tickets, it's going to make it just that little bit easier for ESC. I don't think it's going to be a big one, though. I think this is all going to hang on this second half. Looking at how tit for tat this has been going, especially with Tony actually getting Crema on there. You're not happy that I said tit for tat, but Doobie is actually going to look for two. Not going to get one, actually. Nice play with the ace 23 from Tony. And look at this. Suddenly, InFamous looking a lot stronger than they have in the past, securing that C site with a nice two-man push. And that's going to level out to a nice trip cap. Not sure for how long, though, especially on this B site.
Yeah, it's still very, very close stuff, and I've got to say, ESC do need to get a wiggle on, as Tofi does do the job down towards B, but he's just overmatched there, and that's exactly what changed this one around. InFamous just overmatched on every site. It was either a 3v1 or a 2v1, and because ESC didn't really expect that A push to come down at the same time, they just didn't really reinforce the sites they had to. So they are now having to work their way back in, but it's still very close, and this is why it's such extremes, because once they get their foot towards, you know, they initially either pick up the B, excuse me, the C or the A site, and then they can work off the back of it and generally get a triple cap. That's why it's such an extreme moment.
Yeah, this is amazing. Just the fact that this has gone to 3 maps and we're now sat with just 4 tickets between them. This is a fantastic round. And obviously here, enjoying their holiday on the beach. There's a little bit of violence, a little bit of bloodshed on that A site right now as Juvi's going to kind of avail. Going to be looking to rotate maybe towards that C site, abandoning the A site. They know that really with time against them, as are the tickets, they need to go towards this B site fast. ESC are going to be maybe stopped in their tracks by Melicium, but he's been pretty quiet this round as he's going to maybe start progressing towards a nice exchange of fire. Takes down one, but that's not going to stop that B site from coming home and coming up good for the ESC side. So now all good for them, unless, of course, Tony holds on to this A site as he looks to be doing so.
Yeah, Tony in a nice position, just watching the one entrance there. He was going to be challenged out by Doobie in the back, but picks up the kill regardless. And we are seeing ESC really challenging this one through. And Tofi getting caught out on the side. They're being over. Knows there's now 2 here. He's going to the spawn towards Tony, goes for the fight, he gets it. And now still in a 1v1 at the very least, but the sport comes in. This is going to be a bit of a brawl out just for A.
Yeah, well, it has been a brawl throughout this round. Real just bullets being thrown at people. People are running out of ammo left, right, and center. There's ammunition all over the floor. And right now, A and B are safely in ESC's hands, and that's exactly what they need with this 10-ticket deficit. It's getting a bit bigger for them, and they're looking to kind of level it out right once again. They're doing just that. Those tickets are going to be falling out from underneath InFamous right now. Looking to head towards this B site now. Looking to see Birdzu. He's done great stuff in the past, heading up towards those stairs, looking to get some sort of surprise attack. And I don't think he's going to have any sort of element of surprise with the fantastic work that Tony's been doing around this B site. Not this time, though. Benny's there for ESC. And actually, ESC look to be starting to hold on to this B site longer than they have in the past. Maybe A is going to be the target of InFamous's affections, though.
Yeah.
3 players charging towards it. Maybe a quick rotate to C now from Toffee. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, but the thing is that Doobie was in a great position around the back of these trenches here. It's a beautiful spot. It forces a player to come all the way around here, way out of position, and generally you're still in the advantageous spot. So it's going to force, you know, a real commitment out of InFamous, and they don't really have time for it. They've just put 3 players there and got nothing gained. So 16 tickets left. They need to make the right choices right now. Otherwise, they're pretty much done here. Great work from Benny picking up the kill on towards Tony. He could have been in a position to get more respawns towards B. And this has opened the map back up here. A is overmatched, but a good hedging of the bets there, heading out towards C for ESC. And I think they might walk away with the advantage on this one.
Yeah, looking to be the case. 22 for 14. It's going to be a minor one, but any advantage, when these teams have been going so neck and neck, any advantage is going to be such a key determinant of the winner of this game. And obviously this has been a close one. It really summarizes just how closely matched these teams are and how good they're going to be able to compete with the greats that are already in through to the offline finals. So let's see where this goes right now. 4 tickets remaining. That advantage has grown significantly, and ESC looking to take this one with a very handsome 20-ticket lead.
Yeah, they played that so damn well. Individually, fantastic. As a team, even better. And they played the game I expected, but they played it I don't know. It's hard to explain it in a way because they didn't completely make use of it at times. They were playing this, okay, we want the ground game. We're going to take out all the cover possible so you cannot maintain that A and B hold. We're going to force you back towards C. Fair enough. You know, that's kind of what I expected. You know, this kind of fast-paced, fast rotates. Sometimes they got a little bit too ahead of themselves. They didn't really think, okay, well, where would InFamous go for those respawns? Where are they going to put the players? And they kind of bet on the wrong thing. Hence why it was such a close scoreline. You know, 21 tickets, that's absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. But at the end of the day, I think ESC were looking to lead the pace, and they ended up doing it, which is the more important factor there. They saw the game style they wanted and what they had, you know, how they wanted to do it, and they brought it through in the end, whether it be pretty or not.
Yeah, pretty or not. I don't think it's been a particularly attractive half for either side. It's been real kind of bloodbath. And I think that's almost what I like to see. That's kind of what competitive Battlefield can come down to, is just these really quick exchanges, constantly sites changing hands. And that's really what I like to see, especially going into the second half with all of it on the line. What exactly are these teams playing for, Lauren?
Well, not only the fact that they can get into the offline playoffs to get to this, you know, incredible stage, wherever it may be when it gets officially announced. But at the end of the day, they're joining teams like Epsilon, Exertus, Fnatic, MYM, Gamers Connection, and Planet Key Dynamics, all these big teams that battle out every single week, and it's a second chance for them, and 30 grand on the line. It obviously isn't exactly a bad way to end things off if you do walk away in that first position, but still, all in all, it's more for prestige. These guys messed up their first chance. They messed up the first, you know, time to come through here. They had to now go on the second time around. So I think the teams are ready. And I think we've got another great half about to come up. So let's get ourselves looking towards getting in game here. The have fun, good lucks have been said. And on the Chinese side this time around, it will be InFamous. On the US side, it's going to be ESC. And well, 21 tickets, not a great deal.
No, and I'm looking towards this early A control right now, actually. The ESC side have other plans heading towards that B side. We're going to see a 3v3, almost 4v4. Benny's kind of hanging out on that towards the A side, looking to get some picks. Don't think he's going to get too much there. And it's all going down on that B side. Looking great for ESC. Toffee got himself in a great position. Going to be getting picks along towards that A side. And actually, that's a great, great start for ESC. Let's see how long they can hold on towards this B side, especially with that spawn from Tony.
Yeah, Tony around the backside. Generally, you'd see a player near where Jarrett is, keeping eyes on it. I think he's keeping it in mind, but they're going to head up towards C, leaving Heist here. I'm not sure why they're going to be heading towards C rather than maybe pushing B. Maybe they want the easier side, think they'll get the overmatch against one player, which in theory they will, and maybe doubting Tofi a little. He does go down, and it looked like ESC wanted to try out that long-range game a little more. They put Tofi in the one building, watching the push around from C, and played it that style. I don't think that really suits them. I think they could get caught out on this. I think InFamous play that game a little better. And I think maybe InFamous are going to get the B site as well, because at the moment, you've got Heist going pretty damn huge with the double on towards Hubsucks and Doobie. That's pretty much claimed this for a couple more seconds, and even 1 minute in, we've got a 2-1 hold here.
Not for how long, though, that's the question. Melisium kind of waking up after a bit of a quiet first half. He's going to be looking to take down Kremer in that building. He's under real fire, and that's the engineer class's capability. Really can open up that B site, make it absolutely hell to hold on to. But right now, InFamous doing a relatively good job of doing so. We've got that BC hold, but for Tony's aggression on towards that C site, I don't think that's going to be particularly lengthy procedure. Looking to take down C straight away. Look at this. Look, we're going to see an A and C switcheroo, unless, of course, Benny's got some strong defensive procedures up, and it's not going to happen. Heist seems to be doing all the work right now with that Ace-23.
Yeah, he certainly is. He is playing out of his skin at the moment. He looks like he wants to get even more
stop him.
Finally shut down by Hubsucks, but he opened it up for his teammates to pick up the site, and that is very impressive play. AB hold, the kind of superstructure of these buildings has certainly been ruined if you look at the top of them. They're opening this one up slowly but surely. They're going to bring in that gameplay that they enjoy, and it might work out, but they're still trying to play this kind of unique game that I like, but at the moment, 128 to 126, it's still a very close game between these two, and ESC not yet been able to kind of carve their way into the game style that they enjoy, and it might start kicking them in the arse pretty damn soon, because they're allowing players to step up a little bit too much, and Jera and finally Hubsucks chime in with their own and pick up that B flag.
Looking pretty good at the moment, seeing almost a complete carbon copy of this first half, sorry. In this second half, seeing those tickets kind of leveling out right around that 120 mark. Looking to change it, though. I'm going towards Melisium. He's been kind of the ever-presence on that C site, whether he's attacking or defending. Let's see where it works for him this time. He's going to be going towards the man I've titled Genja. But that's his fault for not having the right name, Pew Pew Turtle. So dancing around, Melisium, sorry, is going to go down. Quite nicely defended, actually, from Genja. And so that's going to be another easy defense on that C site.
Yeah, and this 2-1 hold is going to be starting to hurt InFamous a little bit here.
Looking at that number.
Yeah, and 21 ticket deficit to InFamous. So if we do see the Chinese side drop below 21, it means that ESC will move on and look very good going forward into those offline finals. And a bit of a squad wipe near on coming out is going to make it even harder now for InFamous' Kremer, the last man standing. And, well, I think he's going to try and get C. It's not the best one, and even already do be getting out towards A. And it looks like InFamous are going to try and push back in from that singular building on towards B and trying to find a route in towards this map now. And they need to get it going. Melisium not yet able to make a kill. It's really quite struggling times, to say the least. And one thing that's impresses me from ESC, they're not just playing that close quarter game, which I expected. They're able to adapt and play a little bit of that long-range style that I only really chalked up towards InFamous. So at the moment, A and B held. Ideal sites, however, Tony and I believe Melisium and Co might be able to kind of chip away at this one, but look at the respawns coming in for ESC. They're just going to, hunker down at the site needing the attention and do the job.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. They're so happy with this A and B, and they will do anything in their power, and of course their spawn timers that will allow them to hold on to it. Right now, though, InFamous definitely kind of in the thick of it around this B site. I'm looking towards Birdzu, who's kind of been doing great work in the past. This map, looking at that scoreboard, he's not been doing too much. 3 for 6. He's certainly been dead longer than he has been alive. No, Birdzu's dancing around, looking to take down. Nice play on towards PPTel. That might open up the B site enough, but Tony's there to back him up as well. All on Toffee, really, the only ESC member who's yet to fall. And we actually see AC now for ESC, and they've just very smartly rotated around. As soon as that looked like that B site was a little too much to handle, straight towards that C site, which we know Melisium's been desperate for.
Yeah, Hubsuck's being caught out there in the backside by Melisium, and this could be a triple cap. Individual smart kind of play coming out from these guys. We've got Melisium up towards C, we've got Kremer over towards A, and the main battle kind of raging on by this B flag. But if you maintain 2 and give up 1, it's not the end of the world, and at this point, InFamous need everything they can get. They're down almost half the tickets of the opponents, and then the additional lack of them, of 21, being even a bigger factor here. It's allowing ESC so much room to breathe, and they can get back out towards C because the building that we normally see being dominated has been completely destroyed, which does give you cover towards that C site. So at the moment, I've got to say it, InFamous really struggling. Even if they walk away with a small advantage here, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think they're going to get a 2-1, and they're almost out of this.
Yeah, you say they're almost out of it. Those tickets have just, the deficit's become a little too large for InFamous to really handle, and I think that's going to really affect their mindset as well as anything else. Because look at ESC, it's such a patient team. Really nice to see Hubsuck's a man who has previously just demonstrated how good he is on that roaming. This time being the patient man, pretending to be a bush, waiting for Tony to come around that corner. Tony's going to do just that, try and question the integrity of this defense on that C side. I don't think Birdzu's going to have any of it. Neither is Hubsuck's. In the meantime, though, those tickets are going to keep bleeding away. And actually, looks like Benny's got some good stuff on B. He's going to secure that one for his team. ESC, I have to say, I mean, right now, it's just ESC playing out of their minds.
They are playing a really smart, strong game. As soon as they see they're losing one side, they'll give it all up for a couple of seconds and then bring it back around. They're a couple of tickets away from securing this map, which would get them into that final position where they can start looking towards their final game of the day as to whoever gets there and, secure their place towards the offline finals, which is exactly what they wanted here and exactly what they needed. A bit of an all-in change around, however, might make that a little bit harder, but still, 21 tickets to 28 right now. We're a couple of seconds away from finding out if ESC will be the team being the first ones in towards that position, or if it might be InFamous turning around on his head. But I think even the GGs are coming out very early on. The fire comes in, and this 2-1 hold for ESC looks as though it might be sticking. So 23 tickets left here. 22, one more to drop below. I think we know how this one's going to end. And
there it is.
GG well played. As said, it's going to be ESC getting through towards that final position now. One more game to go until they are secured in those offline finals. Exactly what they were fighting for as well, and so well done all in all to them. Very quick rotations, smart play, and I don't think anyone can doubt what they did there. InFamous, on paper, are the better side, proven by last offline results. Wherever you look, generally it will reflect that, but today ESC played a smart game, and they ran the pace that they wanted to run.
Yeah, I mean, they set the pace. I was looking towards InFamous for that. That's something that InFamous have been known for, setting that kind of fast pace that people can't deal with, but that was almost all ESC, especially in those last 2 maps.
Most certainly was. All in all, great game, but
fantastic.
I think ESC just kind of proven that they can really play that kind of style. And wow, Alson actually won in their game in the lower side of things. So let's just check out that bracket as it stands currently and see what we're about to witness. So obviously ESC do get themselves into that final game. InFamous and Alson will be matching up any second now. That'll be the next game coming up, and then we'll find out who will face ESC in the final game of the day. And I've got to say it, InFamous looking a little bit beaten and broken at this point. They don't look like they're having the game of their lives, or the day of their lives, to say the very least. So I'm hoping they can kind of fix what was going wrong there, maybe take a couple of seconds, talk through the mistakes, and just try and get themselves back on the right kind of mental playing field.
Yeah, no more to say. It's exactly what they need to do. InFamous really just need to take a breather. I think they've been playing, they played a real tough, hard-fought 3 maps, and right now, take a step back and really kind of address maybe their problems in the InFamous camp. Yeah,
so all said and done, we'll be coming back in a couple of seconds to find out who will be facing off against ESC in that final game. It's between InFamous and Alson, a team we're yet to see today, but certainly proving their worth so far. So guys, don't go too far away from your PCs. We'll be back in around 5 minutes.